Hello YouTube, it's gopernoper, and today I am back with my 8th camera haul video. Obviously there's a lot of stuff here and it's really packed in there. I'm sorry if I gave anybody a seizure, but let's get underway. First and foremost is the Polaroid 1200 EE, because I forgot to talk about this in the previous video. It's basically just a very weird Spectra series camera. Here's the viewfinder. I can't exactly show you, but yeah, that's what it is. And this one has a broken latch on the film door, but it came with a lot of 6 cameras for $15. So I'm just kind of glad that I have it in my collection. But who could say no? Or at least my grandma couldn't say no. Next up, we have the wonderful Minolta SRT 100 35mm SLR camera. Working great. This uses the same lens mount as my Minolta XG1, so all lenses I get for the two should be perfectly interchangeable. This one has a very nice metering system. I like the way it works. If you'll notice, there's a needle and a circle, and what you have to do is match the two up. Basically, if you turn the aperture ring, I apologize if it's really unfocused, but you can kind of see it moving through the haze. But basically, if you adjust the shutter speed dial or the aperture dial, it'll change accordingly. And this camera is working great. I picked it up at a Pawn America for $25 with the lower half of the Everready case. But anyways, glad I got that one. Now next up are the lenses I got for it. Now I purchased these separately, or they were given to me separately. And this is the only one that was really given to me by my grandma's neighbor. This is a Lentar 400mm telephoto lens f6.3, which is completely insane. You can see here 400mm, but yeah, that's a little excessive. Anyways, it's got to be at least 1.5 feet long, but you can see it fits the normal Minolta lenses, so this one should work just fine. Next up, I got this lens at Goodwill. This one was $10. Now, what the guy selling it to me didn't know, this was in the display case at the front, is that it's actually a JCPenney 28mm prime attached to a 2x teleconverter. Now what I was really after here is the teleconverter, but this is actually a rather excellent wide-angle lens. Now, I intend to use this one a lot, which is going to be very nice, because I don't have any wide-angle lenses for this system of cameras, and I've got 2 bodies that will accept it, which is very nice. It's the first JCPenney lens I've actually found in working condition, which is definitely saying something there. And here's the teleconverter, just your typical 2x teleconverter. That spring noise is actually just spring inside the transfer thing, but it does have the nubs for the CLC on there and the metering couplings. I've tested it with both cameras and it works great. Anyways, reattach it. Basically, all you do is line up the 2 dots. Put them together, and you're good. Now, next up, I only just purchased this one today, but this is the same exact lens. This is the kit lens for the camera, which I purchased at a Goodwill for $6. Now, the reason I bought this one, the body cap's on there is messing it up, but the reason I bought this one is because if I ever come across a Minolta body that takes these kinds of lenses, I'll have a spare one on hand. And for some reason, the body cap messes with the transfer lever, so I can't exactly mess with the aperture. And of course, it came with its trademark UV filter. So, done with that system of cameras. Now I'm just going to grab some different stuff. Now, I got both of these cameras next at an estate sale for $13 total. And this one was originally marked at $5. I ended up paying $3 for it. But this is a Kodak Instamatic 404 camera with the clockwork motor. And obviously a very nice case that came with it. Here's the camera. What you basically you just wind the clockwork motor on the top, and you can take photos very rapidly with it. And I'm surprised with the condition that this is in for $3, which is actually pretty fantastic. I was expecting it to be a broken down piece of junk, but I'm happy I took it with me. Next up, we have an 8mm 1936 Univex cine camera. This is the A8 model in the original box, which I think is the most spectacular part of the deal. This one was $10 here. It even has the box for the lens, and the body cap is in there at the bottom too. Here's the camera. Wind it up with the crank on this side, and then right here you've got the shutter button. And then you can see, you take the lenses off. I'm not going to go into details with this because it'll take too long. This camera haul is going to take long enough already since I have so much to go through. But it came with all of the original papers, warranties, the instruction manual, everything. Everything, absolutely everything. It even came with the inspection sheet for the lens from the factory, which I think is amazing. So $10, I'm very happy I picked that one up. And the other camera I got was obviously the Instamatic. If you didn't catch that part for some reason, maybe you were dozing off. Next, I have the wonderful Kodak Bullet camera. You see, it screws out and then locks into place. But yeah, it's just a simple early 1900s point and shoot 127 film camera. I'm not going to go into great detail with this, but you can see, just spin the threads to deploy and retract. Next, we have an APS film camera. This is a Kodak Advantix 2100. And this one was given to me by my friend. He found it in his basement. And yeah, it works good. I don't have any batteries in it right now because it would just make annoying whirring noises every time I open the lens cover because it was trying to find the film inside. But anyways, neat little camera, especially since it was free. Next up, we have this. This is a Pentax ZX-50, just in case you guys can't read. I'll pop the box open. This cost me $2.99 at Goodwill. That was also how I ended up taking home the JC Penney lens and this one up here, which I'll get to later. But this was sold body only. But anyways, this is in great condition. I haven't managed to test it out yet. I've got the batteries, but for $2.99, what is there to lose? It's in amazing condition. It came with the body cap, and the nice thing is it fits K-mount lenses. Now, this didn't come with it. This is just a random K-mount that I grabbed off my shelf here. But as you can see, clicks right into place on there. You probably can't see anything because the lens is trying to stay focused. But anyways, I gotta watch it with the puns there. But here we go, back into the box, and out there. So that's a really nice, mostly automatic 35mm SLR, but I do intend to use it in the future, especially since I've seen a lot of the lenses for it, especially at Goodwill, because they're just pretty much in there. I'm not going to put the Instamatic back out there, it's too big and takes up too much space. Anyways, next I have a stereo Realist 35mm stereo camera. I bought this one on the East Coast for $35 at an antique mall on vacation. Hyannis, to be specific. The Yarmouth Center for Antiques. It's a great store. You should check it out. The interesting thing is it doesn't look like anything is happening with the focus. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But anyways, this one is working beautifully. Everything is working properly. The shutter, the aperture, everything. And this is an older model, I can tell, because it does not have the double exposure button. On the bottom right here's the lock. The back pops open. You can see that when I turn the focus knob, it actually adjusts the height of the film plane, which is really interesting. I have never seen that before. And I'll just show you both of the shutters. They work great. Oh god, where did I put the back down for this thing? There it is. And you gotta put it on in just the right way. This side has to go in first. And it slips over, it locks back into position. Now this uses a rangefinder, and the positioning of the viewfinder is incredibly strange, but it's down there, and you can't compose anything because I've got the lens cover closed. But yeah, stereo Realist stereo camera, which is pretty cool. 35 bucks. Now next up, we have Anniversary Kodak. This one I paid $25 for at an antique mall. It's working great. I'll just show you the magazine just real quick. And this takes regular 120 film. So I actually plan to use this in the future for a little experiment. I've never shot with a box camera before, so it should be interesting to use, especially since it's so old and doesn't have so many features. Fun fact about this camera, the upward stroke on the shutter lever actually gives you a faster shutter speed. For some reason, I don't know why. Just a weird little design quirk. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some of the bigger cameras. Right here we have a Kodak Pleaser, I believe this is, missing the nameplate. It's been missing since I bought it. But yeah, it's just like the Kodak handle in styling, except this one I paid $4.99 for at Goodwill. And it's actually in pretty decent condition. You can see everything inside's working great. Obviously the battery's depleted because it's so old. But yeah, 80s Kodak instant camera. Got another one, but for $4.99 I just couldn't say no. Now next up, here is one of my favorite purchases. Some of you have probably already guessed what this is. Every camera collector has one, including me. Now anyways. I didn't have one before. This one was picked up for $25 at a Goodwill, and you can probably see it from here, but this is a Canon AE-1 program. Official 35mm camera of the US Olympic Games, 1984 Olympic Games. So here it is in all of its glory, the Canon AE-1. Now you'll notice sometimes the shutter does lag a bit, but that's because I still haven't replaced the battery. This is running on a battery from probably about the 90s, but as you can see, everything's working good. And it doesn't even have the annoying shutter squeak that most AE ones have. Maybe it's there a little bit, but it hasn't become a problem yet. But I don't really care, just so long as it doesn't affect the operation. Yeah, it definitely needs new batteries. But anyways, it's working great. And like I said, $25, not bad. Especially with the cool 1984 lens cap. It also came with, obviously, the Sun Valley case. This Gemini 80 to 200mm lens right here. Zoom, obviously. For some reason, this is 200mm and this is 80. I don't exactly understand why, but it's an f4.5 lens and it's working perfectly. As you can see, the focus is smooth as butter. It also came with a Vivitar RL edition 2650 flash, which is also in great working condition. Let's give it a moment to charge. I actually found that this can fire quite rapidly when you let it charge for long enough. Also came with this neato hippie camera strap here, but it's a very comfortable strap. Then I purchased this lens about a week later from the same Goodwill for $9.99. This is an 85 to 210mm zoom lens. This one's working great as well, as you can see. And this one is an f4.5 lens. And it actually came with the lens hood, which really surprised me. Just a screw-on lens hood. Pretty cool. But for $10, it's not bad for a working telephoto. Moving on. I'm saving the best for last, but today I visited a local estate sale and ended up picking 2 cameras and taking them with me. He had about 4. And I got both of them for $20. Here is a Spectra 2. They originally wanted 9 for it. I ended up paying 3. And this one is working beautifully. It even has a functioning battery in it from back when it was actually used. I'll just give it a moment to charge. But as you can see, everything is working just fine on it. Still have to get used to it a little bit, but it's not going to advance the film because there's none left in there. So yeah. Oh, hold on. Forgot to, yeah, there. There, so it locks into place nicely. $3 for a Spectra 2 in pretty good condition. Here's the other truly amazing item I got for $17. Here we have, here's the case here. The case is a bit bit up because it was stored with silica gel. As you know, is a desiccant and takes all the moisture out of everything, which I'm very glad they did, even if it did make the case very hard. I will simply leave it out in the humid air because it's very humid right now for a couple days, and that should soften it up. I ended up walking home with a Pentax MX 35mm SLR camera, and this one is also in really amazing condition. The lens is like brand new, and if you notice, it's the same kit lens as the Pentax K1000 that I bought so long ago. Now, I think one of the most intriguing features about this camera system, or this camera in particular, is how when you look through the finder, you'll see off to the side, there's a wheel with numbers on it. That displays the shutter speed that you currently have selected, and up in the top, that window is displaying your current aperture selection, which is what this black window is for. It's basically just a mirror facing downward onto your lens, which shows your aperture selection, which I think is really cool. I've never seen a camera do that before. I've seen them with digital displays, but I've never seen it actually show you the number. We have our aperture preview switch, self-timer, and on-off switch. Now this has a cloth focal plane shutter. I turn the... Probably can't see it because it's set to 1/1000th. But there we go. As a high Pentax MX. Now the nice thing is that's not the only thing I got with it. Obviously I got the wonderful leather case. I also got a whole slew of filters and a nice Tachinid telephoto. I'm not going to go into detail with this because it would just take too long. A whole slew of filters, a whole bunch of papers, warranty papers, instruction manuals for all the lenses, everything. Everything that you could imagine. And it also came with a very comfortable leather strap. I also got these 2 normal straps with it. They were just kind of sitting in the case, but I removed it because I'm going to put these on some of my other cameras later that don't have straps. Anyways, I've saved the best for last, and I don't think I'm forgetting anything. If you've seen the sneak peek video, you already know what this is. This is a Kodak Retina 3C small C model. I'll put the case back in there. Here it is. Came with the ever-ready case, the long R lens component, the box, 2 instruction manuals, the original receipt, some extra film, which is actually fantastically cool. And actually, strangely enough, this is a light Wetzlar neck piece right here. I don't know what it was doing on this thing, but it's pretty cool. Now if we just loosen this from the bottom and take a look at the rest of the camera in all its glory. Here it is. The Schneider Xenon lens. This is the regular 50mm lens component, and I did check before I bought it. It does have matching serial numbers. For those of you who are wondering, the entire outfit cost me $55, which is not bad, especially considering it works like it's brand new. And it came with the extra lenses and such. The focus is as smooth as butter. The rangefinder is perfectly aligned. There's no grease whatsoever on the aperture blades, and all the shutter speeds work correctly. I'm not going to show you everything, so it would just take too long. I might do an individual video on this, I don't know. But you can see the light meter is working. Probably can't see it moving much because it's dark in here already, but it's working. Which I'm very happy about, because normally over time the selenium cells start to die. And this uses the rangefinder system, not the split image, but with the rangefinder patch. So I'll just show you the film door. And this is actually the winding lever. Oh, hold on, there. Sorry about that. And you can see the lens unfolds, takes a picture, works beautifully. And everything is working great on this camera. I'll show you how to change the lenses real quick, because I got time. Now you just have to grip it and twist it counterclockwise a little ways, and it does bayonet off. So I'll set that on my lens cleaning cloth that I've set aside. This also allows rather easy access to the shutter blades so that you can clean them. Here's the case. It actually bayonets into the case, which I think is actually a pretty nice design because it really stops it from being bumped around. But you need to line up the red dots and then simply place it in, turn clockwise until it clicks. So there it is, the long R lens component. Sadly, I don't have the auxiliary finder for it, so I'm kind of going to be shooting blind with this a little bit. But I still do intend to use it, and sadly, you can't close the camera with this lens element on. But anyways, just bayonets off the same way the 50mm lens component does. Snaps back into its case. Case closes back on. And the 50mm, as you can see, is in immaculate condition, not a mark on the lens, no haze, no fungus, nothing, not even a single scratch. And I did the test with the flashlight. Remember to line up the red dots, twist clockwise till it clicks. Anyways, that should do it for this camera haul video. Thank you for sticking with me for this long, and I'm going to be withholding the answer for the my entire camera collection video quiz. I will upload it during the camera haul video where someone actually gets the correct guess. So, I apologize for the length of the video today. I know it's really not short at all, but I had so much stuff to go through, so thank you for sticking with me this long. Thank you again for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.